Welcome to week 2 of writing my first ever feature script that I plan to produce and film. We are in the conceptualization stage, getting ideas together, formulating the outline. Last week, we did a lot of great scene tests. We did about 16 pages of handwritten screenwriting pages. Scene tests where I just have an idea for a scene, I test it out on paper, and it makes me think of ideas and ask more questions about my script. We've been doing really great. Last week was really good. We filled up a lot of these pages in this little pocket journal. I filled it up with a bunch of ideas. Essentially, I'm just walking around in the world looking for the signs and connections that I meant to make. And this week, I'm gonna do a lot of what I did last week. It's just more scene tests, more screenwriting, more conceptualizing, getting more ideas. Because after the next 2 weeks, then I'm gonna start my scratch draft. My scratch draft is essentially where I'm just gonna power through a full rough draft. It's really just gonna be an opportunity to get a bunch of ideas down on paper and a bunch of ideas circulating and coming to life, and it's alive. And this week I wanna focus more on watching movies, so I have a list of movies that I wanna watch for inspiration. I think about Tarkovsky, I think about 2001: A Space Odyssey, my favorite film. I think about The Truman Show. But the movies I want to watch this week are I Saw the TV Glow, which I actually started a few days ago. Really great. I'm really enjoying it. It was recommended by a friend and someone else, and I knew it was going to be an inspiration for this film. Beyond the Aquila Rift, an episode from Love and Robots. Moon, astronaut, cosmos, alone in space kind of deal. Cosmos the bear, connections there. I expect to get some cool ideas. So this week we're going to build more of the outline. We're going to watch movies, fill up this pocket journal, do more scene tests. I'm gonna go right now, run into this scene test. Right now. Let's do it. Okay. Wrote about two to three pages. Sometimes it's just about getting things on paper. Even if you think it's bad, you don't know where something's gonna lead. And again, for me, I'm mostly trying to train the muscles of screenwriting to prepare me for the bulk screenwriting that's going to come up over the next few weeks. Even if you know for a fact, like most of what I just wrote now, like I know for a fact it's not going to be in the final script, but it's an idea, right? It's an idea that comes to mind. It's like, oh, what if this happened in the scene? And it's just writing it out, right? And just putting it out there and seeing what happens. And then that'll lead you to the beats and the ideas and the story that's meant to be sculpted. Beautiful. All right, we are going to watch this movie today. I Saw the TV Glow. We have watched some movies. Last night I saw the TV Glow, as well as Being John Malkovich. Being John Malkovich is written by Charlie Kaufman, who was a screenwriter of Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, which if you watch the first episode or first vlog of this series, I mentioned that movie and I mentioned the notes that I took while I watched that. And the notes that I took while I watched these two movies last night, wow. A lot of great things. Being John Malkovich, I filled it up with a lot of killer ideas. And it's incredible. The feeling after watching these movies is I feel so much in alignment and in tune with my own creative journey writing the script, because I'm actually watching the movies that intuitively I know I should be watching, that my soul feels called to watch. You know, these movies, if you saw the first episode, you knew my mood board. I listed a bunch of movies that are sort of like reverse inspirations for my script. You know, movies that I think about when I think about the tone and feeling and story of my own screenplay that I'm writing right now. You know, just actually watching them, and the ideas sparking and flying. It's an incredible work of super conscious. I forget who said it. It was a quote from the book The Artist's Way by Julia Cameron. It's a quote it's someone else's quote, but she mentions it in that book, which is that inspiration is a form of superconscious. When you're inspired by something that someone else made out in the world, it's like your consciousness mixing with their consciousness, you know, those ideas, it's a superconscious. And so inspiration used, you know, in a way that feels right for your own creative process, I think is an incredibly magical thing. Whatever things are meant to inspire your own work, just go with it, go with the flow, just see how it makes you feel. And yeah, trust the movies that come along your way. Like I trusted that I Saw the TV Glow was meant to be viewed by me, because my friend Luis, who's in some of the vlogs on the channel, he recommended that film to me. And he said even himself, like, oh yeah, the story that you're describing, my script that I'm writing, he's like, oh yeah, this is like this other movie, I Saw the TV Glow. So I'll start with that movie. Great film. Beautiful, beautifully shot, beautifully acted, very cosmic, very ethereal. I love the thing that I noticed with that film. Basically, basic summary is this character Owen, who's grown up in the suburbs, meets this girl in school who introduces him to this show called The Pink Opaque. The Pink Opaque is this very kind of weird, ethereal show that finds its way slipping between the boundaries of reality and dream, and what's real and what's not real in Owen's own life. There's more than meets the eye with this TV show in their own lives. It's a weird film, but it's really cool and creative, and something that I noted down. I mean, I think I mentioned this in last vlog or last episode. Is that the opening is almost exactly the same as the opening I wrote for my script before even watching the film, which is just, you get these confirmations and these kind of like encouragements as you're working on your script or working on your story. Something that I really noted was just this blur between reality and the dream world. And I saw the TV glow, just a lot of, you don't really know what the main character's thinking as they're experiencing certain visions and dreams and hallucinations, and you can't even tell what's real or what's not real because the confines of reality and the rules of reality have never even really been clearly communicated to the viewer. Not in like a lazy way, but an intentionally enigmatic way as you're watching the film unfold. And that also, great segue into being John Malkovich. I watched this film a few years ago. I forgot how crazy and hilarious this movie is. Similar to I Saw the TV Glow, you never really know where it's going. Being John Malkovich, like, you never know where this thing is going. Like, it is actually insane. It's marbles. And right from the beginning, it is playing with these rules of like, what's real and what's not real. Did the thing that I just see actually happen? Are they not questioning that thing that just happened? It's very much like the characters are just living in a dream world. This character, Craig, comes across this tunnel in his workspace where if you climb through the tunnel, you become John Malkovich. John Malkovich is an actor, Hollywood actor. You become John Malkovich for like 15 minutes. I don't even know if I want to say much more than that. It's just it's a crazy movie. I feel like sometimes in movies or other screenplays, there's almost this question that the movie makes you ask, right? Like, I don't know, pick any movie. Jaws. Will they be able to kill or defeat the shark, right? That's the question, the big question of the movie. You have to wait until the end to find out. When being John Malkovich, there's like 20 questions, and then they're answered like one after another. It's like, will this happen? And then you see it, and then you're like, oh my gosh. And then you ask a new question, and then you see it happen. And you're like, oh my gosh. And it keeps doing that. And it keeps going left and right and left and right. And it's just like, whoa. And it was like, whoa, like, well, as I was watching the movie, I was just like fascinated, like, wow, like, what would it be like to write a screenplay like that or write a movie like that where it's just adventure and the twists and turns are just like, you don't even know where it's going. And yeah, I was just thinking about my own screenplay and I was writing ideas about that. It's just hilarious. Humor is a big thing that I want in my script. Charlie Kaufman is a genius screenwriter. I mentioned this in the previous episode, this almost sort of lack of patience or this test of worry that, am I going to get all of the ideas in time? But this need to just, relax, just chill. The ideas will come in their own timing. They will come when you're supposed to receive them. The way I see it, at least, is like, as long as I'm taking the time out to, do my screenwriting, watch the movies I'm meant to watch, take the time to be still and silent and receive ideas, carry this pocket journal around, be aware for ideas in the world, write things down, any ideas that come. As long as I'm doing those basic things, those intentional practices day to day to fish for ideas, I don't have to worry about certain ideas not getting to me or not feeling confident in a certain story arc or story beat. The things that are meant to come will come. So yeah, I just feel called to bring that up because maybe if you're in your own creative process and you're worried about certain ideas not coming in the right timing, as long as you are being intentional with your creative process, the things that are meant to find you will find you in the right timing. Yeah, I feel confident and I feel good about this script and the outline that's forming, the questions that I'm asking, the ideas that are coming. Yeah, great movie watching sessions. as you force yourself to write, you come across cool moments within the story and within the script. And that's what happened just now as I was writing these 6 pages. A lot of cool moments came up in this story that I wasn't anticipating. A lot of just little moments. Just forcing myself to write and then coming across these cool nuggets, these cool cinematic nuggets. But it's nice, I did my screenwriting for today, and I'm gonna work on more of the outline today as well. Oh yeah, last night I started Moon, panning out to be a really cool story. I have about 20 minutes left in that film, but it's really nice, and I can see why I intuitively put Moon on my mood board of films to watch, because like Being John Malkovich, the other film I was watching the other night, these films have things to do with identity and the self, and you know, clones and characters questioning what's real and what's fake, the boundaries between those lines being blurred, and those are things that I obviously want to have in this screenplay. So it's all flowing together. But as I was watching Moon, the whole time I was just questioning and thinking about one particular area in my screenplay, which is Cosmos the bear, and Cosmos' mission, and what kind of mission Cosmos is on, and what Cosmos believes about his mission, and yeah, just everything happening in the spaceship. I was just thinking about that and questioning that as I was watching the film. And so from that, I concluded that, you know, the way that that film, watching Moon, is supposed to move and influence the screenplay of my script is by asking more questions about that part of my script. That's at least on a conscious level. You know, on a subconscious level, the movies that I watch are going to impact my writing in many, many different ways. But at least on a conscious level, I can kind of sense, you know, again, what questions am I asking after I watch these movies? What am I left with? Like right over here, you know, I highlighted in the screenplay, like right here, I kind of take a note on the side, you know, I say cool moment, right? So these 5-6 pages, who knows how much of this is going to be in the final draft? Maybe nothing but this moment. But, you know, by forcing myself to write a scene, I come across a cool, like I said, a cool cinematic moment in the scene that I know I would like to have some kind of version of in the final draft. That all starts with the momentum to actually just write and force something out. And again, that happened, a few of those moments happened throughout this screenplay, or through the scene that I just wrote. So something I just did was I organized my notes from the films that I've been watching onto my mood board. I return to my mood board a lot to get inspirations and ideas, and kind of just remember the ideas that I already have for the film. So yeah, just putting stills from the film, notes, you know, next to it, like Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, you know, taking note of certain cinematography things that I like, certain writing principles about characters and relationships that I mentioned already, the sort of inspiration that I was getting from watching that film. Also, El Mariachi was another movie that I watched a couple months ago. That was already here on the mood board. Fellowship of the Ring, I saw the TV Glow, Being John Malkovich, and Moon, other films to come. But yeah, this is nice, just keeping things organized. Yeah, it's nice to have these on the mood board. Today is Friday, January 10th, 7:09 p.m. There's some cool things that I want to share that have happened the past couple days. First of all, I watched Brazil, 1985 last night, and I had seen that film before. It's great, crazy, chaotic adventure. Terry Gilliam. It was interesting, when that film finished, I noticed that the ending of that film was very similar to how a lot of the films I've been watching the past week or so have ended. And it's just making me conscious about noticing the similarities between the films that I'm watching for this screenplay, and noticing how that's pushing how it's very similar to the ending that I had written for this script months ago. Again, the same idea of certain ideas within the script are being confirmed by things that I'm experiencing, ideas that I'm getting, movies that I'm watching. That was really crazy. And then also, when the film had finished, I sat there for like 20 minutes just writing nonstop in my notebook, because I was thinking about more things, obviously, throughout the film as I was watching Brazil. And after the movie finished, I just kept writing and kept writing. And as I was writing, I was thinking to myself, wow, these are such vivid ideas, and vivid ideas that I'm writing about in my own story. And it's such a stream of conscious kind of thing, like stream of conscious pages, when you keep writing and you don't stop. And I just kept thinking to myself, wow, like, there's got to be a reason that I'm writing so fast, and I'm writing so vividly and so certainly and so confidently. It reminds me of something I brought up in the first episode. Seth Rogen, he said that you know that you have a good idea when it sticks around for a while, when it's been there for a while. And it just felt like as I was writing in my notebook, it was like, there's a reason why this stream of conscious writing about these ideas in the notebook feels so vivid and so strong. I'm not just writing scraps and just like random things like this. No, these are strong things to include in the script and the screenplay. The script and the outline and everything is, the big picture ideas are really taking shape, really forming. I'm feeling like creativity is emotion. Emotion is the potent driver of creativity, right? It's an intuitive thing. And the confidence and vividness I have in this outline for the script and how I'm sensing it's forming is all in a feeling. I can't logistically explain it. I just get a strong feeling of how I see my characters hitting certain dramatic beats. And that's the next thing I want to bring up. So the structure of the outline itself is becoming very clear, but the specific scene-to-scene things and like locations and like specifically what the characters are doing, like going here, picking up this object or doing this task or, trying to achieve this little mini mission, whatever, within these scenes, those specific things haven't really come clear to me, but I know that they're not meant to, because I feel called to just keep writing and screenwriting, doing more scene tests to get those details. And that's what I've been doing, my scene tests, they all been continuous, picking up where the last one ended. It's interesting, the past couple of days I've never felt more confident and in tune and in alignment with how the script's forming and how the outline is forming. Everything's coming in divine timing. All of the ideas are hitting me. The idea circulation is going very nice. And I'm just continuing to fill this baby up, this little notebook. It's almost finished. I just wrote like 5 or 6 more pages in here just now. Guys, it happened. It actually, I won the lottery. The writing lottery. I had the greatest download, the greatest burst of inspiration for a script that I've ever experienced. And it came out of nowhere. It was crazy. All right, you guys got to hear this. So, I'm at my friend's house. This was a couple nights ago. It's Monday right now. So this was Saturday night. And it's like 3 a.m. We're out on a long car ride listening to rock and roll, just having fun, boys kind of night. And then I started telling them about the script, the story, Cosmos. And we've talked about the script before, because a few months ago I was telling them, like, guys, I'm making a feature film. And they're like, oh, we'll help. And they really want to help with the making of it. And I've been giving them tidbits of the script and whatnot, and they've been helping me, like, ideas here and there, building it. It was before I started this series, actually screenwriting the story into a script. And I'm there and I'm telling them, I'm like, you guys can help with giving me ideas maybe for like this one part of the story, which is Ben's story, Ben's journey, the odyssey that Ben goes on, interacting with different people in his life. And, I was like, I need ideas. I just don't know what exactly he's going to be doing. I don't know what that journey looks like. I don't know. I have structure, I have beats, I have all this stuff, I have vibes, I have feelings. I just don't know the specific actions, the objects that he interacts with and whatnot. Anyway, so I was like telling them about these things. And then it just hit me. It just hit me. Everything. Like literally, it was crazy. The whole ending sequence, just like, it was like a zap, and it just like, I was like seeing everything vividly play out in the final kind of sequence, the final scene, and what the climax was going to be, and what Ben was doing, and the specific actions, and then how that ending sequence, because I knew the story would ultimately get there, that informs what the rest of the Odyssey and journey is going to kind of look like, and what kind of things Ben would be doing and the other characters. And it was crazy. You know what fascinates me about this is that this whole time, the past couple weeks, we've been screenwriting. It's been consistent actions, and I've said throughout a lot of the days, it's been almost like an impatience, or an almost like I feel like a lot of this is not going to go in the final draft, but deep down I know this is what I need to be doing. I know this is how it works, and even my aunt told me this, because I told her about what happened a couple nights ago, just like everything's happened to me, like finally, like the biggest burst of inspiration ever. And then it was 3 a.m. I started writing until 7 a.m. Actually, I like basically pulled an all-nighter. I mean, I slept a bit after that, but it was crazy. Anyway, but she said, you know, that's because of all the consistent writing, you know? It's because of all the consistent writing that you've been doing. And it's so true, you know, like it's crazy how like that Saturday night and then going into Sunday is like, those are my rest kind of times. Those are my rest days. Like I don't schedule any work. And so all of that came when I would least expect it to. All of that came when I'm not looking for it. It's like, you know, 100 axes at the tree, the 100th blow will break it. But it was the 99 before it that, you know, that did it. And so it's like, it's just like hammering at it. It's just like going, it's just writing, it's just doing it. And then you don't know when it's gonna come. And it came for me, and I'm so happy. I was just there, I was typing, and I feel so good going into this final week of screenwriting before the scratch draft. The scratch draft is gonna, I'm allotted a few weeks for the scratch draft, and it's gonna be, I think, 5 or 10 pages a day. It's gonna be crazy. I'll go over this more at the beginning of next episode or next vlog or whatever, which will be the upcoming week, the episode for upcoming week. But I'm just gonna go through like all the notes in here, compile all the notes in here, all the notes that I've taken for this film, and then like put them into the outline. And that outline is essentially going to be, again, for the scratch draft. And the scratch draft is going to be my experimental draft to experiment with all of the ideas that I've conceptualized for the story so far. It's going to be all of the ideas, so I can just test them out on the page. Now, again, after the scratch draft, it's going to be the first official rough draft. As I write the scratch draft, I'm also going to be, you know, returning to the outline as well, like, you know, just kind of sculpting it over those few weeks. It's just crazy. It came, the inspiration, the ideas, the ending. It's just me being in that mode of screenwriting, actively working on the project, and that's what does it. And I know that inspiration, that burst wouldn't have been possible without me just continually, consistently working on the screenplay. Thank you for watching. Here we go, guys. This is like finals week. It's like before the storm, right before the scratch draft. All right, thank you for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video. God bless. Dream on. Peace out.